It's the first time my house has been quiet all day. So I'm so happy to finally be sitting down to record today. I find it really hard sometimes to find an opportunity where the house can be quiet, I can sit and record while lighting is good. Often the evenings are great, and actually it is almost 6 o'clock in the evening right now. I think I have enough lighting to make this work. So we're just gonna roll with it. And not only is it hard to find a time where it's quiet, but I have to actually look somewhat presentable. And I spilled water on my shirt right before I sat down. So if there's a dark spot, it's just water. Anyway, welcome to Salt City Knits podcast. I'm Emily, and this is a podcast all about my making life. And today is June 26th. It's a Wednesday. It's quiet because my son Isaac is over at his girlfriend's house, and my son Ethan and his wife Tannen, they came over for a little bit, but then the two of them plus Richard and my youngest Abby all just left to go to a Styx and Foreigner concert. So fun. Richard has taken every single one of us to a Styx concert at some point, and Abby was the one who got the turn this time. She has never been to a rock concert before. We love classic rock, good 80s, 70s and 80s, even classic rock. I have so many fun projects to share with you. Actually, not that many fun projects, but the ones I have, I'm super excited to show you. So we should just dive right in. But first off, if you want to know where to find me, you can find my yarn and my patterns at yarnbrary.com, and also all my patterns on Etsy, my yarn and patterns on Etsy, and my patterns on Ravelry. And everywhere I am Salt City Knits and Yarnbrary. So look for me there. Thank you so much for everybody who joined me last time and all of your wonderful comments. We had some great comments about what kinds of single skein projects you like to make. And also, what else did we talk about last time? Book boyfriends. We didn't have a ton of people telling me who their book boyfriends are. So, I guess you want to keep them to yourselves. And I guess that's permitted. So I'm excited to share with you today. Over the last week and a half, we've just been doing the normal. I don't really have any big, exciting things to share. Nope, not at all. Although last week, Richard and Isaac went to a camp. They were helpers at a youth camp for the boys in our area for a few days. So they were gone doing that. And Abby had several different things planned with friends during that time. And I was thinking, okay, I've got this and this and this I need to accomplish. But then I stopped and I thought, no, I am going to have my own little mini staycation. So I bought some of my favorite treats, like nothing big and fancy. I got some really good grapes. I love green grapes, and I got some really good ones. And I got some watermelon, and what else did I get? Things to make foods that I really like that nobody else does. So I made mushroom risotto because I love mushrooms, and I make a really good mushroom risotto. What else did I do? It was really simple. And then I planned out the movies that I wanted to watch. I watched Dune, Where the Crawdads Sing. What else did I watch? I finished watching Bridgerton. I have VidAngel, which is where I watched Bridgerton. And I watched the second half of Bridgerton. And I think that was it. That's plenty for 3 days. And I read my book and just relaxed. And it was absolutely delightful. One evening, I ended up going over to Deborah's house, and our friend Marilyn joined us, and our friend Becky joined us, both in our knitting group, and we sat in the backyard And not only did we go and sit in the backyard, but when I got there, they had had tacos that night, and Jason fixed me up a plate of tacos. Jason is my brother-in-law, Deborah's husband. They were amazing. Steak tacos, oh, so good. So like, you can't go wrong. You show up at your sister's house to sit on her beautiful patio and knit, and she feeds you tacos. What's not to like about that? All right, well, let's dive into finished projects. So I only have one, well, I have two finished projects, but one of them is kind of wah. So let me show you this one I'm very happy about. I showed this in progress last time, and this is the Workday scarf. And it is so delightful. It is so fabulous. I will put the designer down in the description box below and a link to the pattern. It is a single skein project, and look at what you get. Look how cute this is. How darling is, here, let me lower this down. How darling is that? It is so adorable. Very simple, very easy to make, and absolutely delightful. It is such an easy pattern to memorize and then just whoosh right through it. It's one skein, and the pattern is free, and it's so cute. I am in love with it. I knit this in our Wick colorway, which is from our Secret Garden collection. And all of our Secret Garden collection is still on sale. And I just think it was such a delightful use of this yarn. I will be making more of these. Not only that, but I want to try putting some different edges on it. I changed it in that I added an I-cord edge at the top. And that means I widened this by an additional 2 stitches. So I cast on 2 additional stitches, and then I just knit it with I-cord instead of a slip stitch edge. And I really love how clean and tidy that looks. Oh my goodness. I just absolutely loved it. This is one of my most delightful knits. It's just such a beautiful thing. I knit this with our contemporary sock base, which has a lovely, it's got a nice little bit of drape to it. And I really like that. Isn't that just so fun? I like, the ends are slightly different. So this is their cast on end. And you can see you get this little bit of a curve to it just based on the way that the increases and yeah, just the way that the increases work. This is your bind off edge, and it definitely binds off more straight across, well, slightly arched. So they don't match exactly. You can see that they're 2 different shapes. I think that would be cool to try and figure out a way to make that a little better. It really is not a major issue to me. It's completely, as far as I can tell, yeah, it's completely reversible. It's hard to even tell which side is the front and which is the back. Both are delightful. I just can't say enough good about this pattern. It's the Workday scarf. And again, I don't have the designer right in front of me, but I will put the link in the description box down below. And I believe that she has a Workday shawl, which would be probably a 2 skein project. Also, I believe it's knit from side to side, probably includes the same lace. I haven't really looked into it. I just came across this. Look how long the ends are. I mean, you just get such a really cute effect from this simple little scarf. Oh, just so delightful. Anyway, I just came across this when I was searching for projects I could make with a single skein. And I was looking specifically for free ones, and I love it. So I highly recommend this one. and it's so fun to make. It just flies right off your needles. So that is my first finished object. Let me grab my second one, the want one. All right, here's the next one. I finished the tea that I was working on. So here it is. And again, that variation in that yarn color is so stark on film, but not in person. So I knew I didn't like the lace panel. I knew that needed to be reworked. My goal in finishing this was that I wanted to see what the fit was going to turn out like. It also didn't turn out the way I wanted it. Somehow between swatching for this project and knitting this project, my gauge changed radically. And so therefore, all of the calculations I did for the grading were not quite what I would like. But I know what I need to do differently. The structure is all great. It's all fine. It's just, I have it too long between where I stop the increases and where I separate for the sleeves. I thought it was probably too long, but I'm like, the numbers say this is it. And that's because I was going on and it was all in the row gauge, by the way. All of my calculations were correct in my stitch gauge, but in my row gauge, they were not correct. So it's back to the drawing board with this one. In the meantime, my daughter tried this on, and I'm gonna have my daughter-in-law try it on because I think she would really like this. It has this detail along the side. I love that lace detail. I'm really happy with that and how it turned out. I'm not super duper happy. I mean, armpits are never your favorite, but carrying this up the armpit or up the inner sleeve, I don't know. I kind of like it actually. So I need to regrade and I need to redesign the lace at the front. And the grading will correct this issue. It's still cute on. It's just not, I want it, perfection is a myth, but I want the fit just, really good. And it's not where I want it quite yet. So I say it's want. It really isn't. It's still great progress. This is my first, this is my first sweater I'm designing to be replicatable. I have designed sweaters to just knit as a one-time thing, but that's not the same as designing for somebody else to be able to knit it and for it to be available in lots of sizes and so on. And I am trying to make this into 9 sizes, so there's just a lot to do. But I'm very happy with the neckline. I think that my change in making it so you start with a provisional cast on and knit your sweater and then pick up your stitches to knit your ribbing. I'm really happy with that, how that turned out. And it's got a lot of potential, so I shouldn't be too hard on it. I should still be really proud of it, and I am. Anyway, so we'll go back to the drawing board with that one and keep working on it. In the meantime, like I said, I'm going to see if my daughter-in-law, if that's something that she would like. That's what I have finished so far. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Nope. And now I have 3 works in progress to share with you. So the first one, well, actually, let me show you this one first. I've been making some progress on my granny stripe blanket. And I've been having so much fun working on this when Richard and I have been watching Homestead Rescue. This is where I was last time I showed it to you. So I have made quite a bit of progress on it. And the lighting, wow, that's blowing out and looking super bright. I mean, it is bright, but it is not that bright. Lighting is weird right now. But oh my goodness, I'm having fun with it. I'm really, really thoroughly enjoying working on this. And this, like I said, has been our TV knitting, my not my knitting, my crochet for watching TV with Richard in the evenings, which we only get to do maybe once or a couple times a week. But it's coming along and I'm really loving that. So it's just so pretty. There's just something so charming about it. I really love it. So that is that. And I've talked about that one in the past. I don't remember how many chains I started out with. But I can tell you that I'm following the tutorial by Addict24 for the granny stripe blanket, and that I am using a 3mm hook and fingering weight yarns. And yeah, that's what I'm working on. So that has been really fun. Another thing I am working on is I have decided, wow, the lighting, I'm sorry, the lighting is awful, but I've decided that it's really time for me to get going if I'm gonna make a pair of Christmas socks for everybody and in my family. And so I pulled this skein out, this gorgeous self-striping. This is from PNW Purls. I have talked about them before on the podcast. I love her self-striping. This one is called Emerald Isle, and it's on her Snoqualmie base. So it's an 80-20 2-ply, 400 yards to 100 grams. But it's such a great green, variety of greens stripes. And I am using the same base, which is my contemporary base is the same base. And so I'm using that in Christie for the heels, toes, and cuffs of this sock. And here is where we are so far. This is my take with me. Oh, I'm tangled around my cords. It's all good. This is my knitting that I'm taking with me. Right now on the camera, this is showing up kind of teal blue, but it's definitely all greens. So this is perfect for taking to church or a meeting, or like, if I was to have time to go to a movie kind of knitting. I am knitting these for either, I don't know yet if they'll be for my son, Isaac, or for my son-in-law. They both have the same size feet. These are 72 stitches, and I've knit an extra long cuff. So I usually do 20 rounds, but I've done 25 rounds of 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. And when I get down to working the heel and I change to the red, I will definitely be working a deeper heel. So I will probably do a 36 row slip stitch heel. And that will give me just that little bit of extra room in the gusset to make the gusset deeper, which will help with their really wide feet. But yeah, they're just big. They look so giant. When you're used to knitting 64 stitches, a 72 stitch sock just looks, wow. It's funny. You wouldn't think that 8 stitches would make such a difference, but it does seem to. So yeah, everybody, when I first was knitting it and I was kind of like to there, people were like, oh, are those watermelon socks? Which I can totally see why you would think of them as watermelon socks. Wouldn't that be fun? But no, we're hopefully going for the Christmas kind of combination. So I've got this cute progress keeper I made with the pearls and then the little star. I thought that was kind of fun. So I've got those going, and that's just the first sock. So that's as far as I've gotten. I cast those on Sunday, so it's only been a few days, and I've been heavily involved in the next project that I'm going to show you. Okay, let me find the first page of this pattern so I can show you the picture. Oh my goodness, it is so beautiful. This pattern is called the Brioche Plus Mystery Shawl, and it's by Susanne Sommer. Look at that. Oh, isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness. So much of my knitting for the last year and a half has been all designing, or specifically for the product. And I haven't had really a process knit that I could just sink my teeth into and just really enjoy just to knit it. It's always been kind of in this mindset of being able to write up the pattern and so on, which I really thoroughly enjoy. And I'm not going to stop doing that, but I just kind of needed a break. And I was feeling a little bit like my creative brain was a little parched. I needed something to kind of spark some excitement and enthusiasm again. And for me, one of the ways I can do that is by taking on a project that's going to have lots of different color changes or pattern changes or new techniques, things that you can just get excited about learning and about trying something that you haven't done before. And I have done some brioche before. I knit the Starflake Shawl by Stephen West, and that has a brioche section in it that includes, it's 2-color brioche. It's increasing and decreasing in within that brioche. And so, you know, there's some elements there that are great. I mean, it's beautiful. But this is pretty much all over brioche. You've got brioche here in 2 different colors. You've got single color pearl brioche. You've got more 2-color brioche. You've got some garter stitch in between these things. You've got these baubles, more brioche, more baubles, more brioche. I mean, there's just lots of opportunity to try some different things. This was originally published as a mystery knit along, I think in 2021. I wanted to find this other picture that shows it in a brighter color palette. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Isn't that fun? It's so interesting because it looks so large in these pictures. And so I can only assume that this is going to grow a lot. Well, I pulled out 4 colors from I shopped my own shop stash. Pulled out 4 of our colors, and these are the ones that I originally chose. So I originally picked, this is my color 1. This is Burnett, this creamy color. And then I grabbed Bronte as my color, my second color. So this was A and this was B. And then I grabbed Alcott as my color C, and Hemingway as color D. So this is my original color palette, which, by the way, I think is stunning. I absolutely love these colors together. I think they're beautiful. I got all the way through the first 2 sections. And let me tell you, I about lost my mind working on the section with the pearl brioche. But I got to the part where I was making the triangles, and I was working with Alcott and Burnett. So the lilac color and the cream color together. And there's just very little contrast between those once you get into a 2-color brioche situation. There was not enough contrast to show off what we were doing. And so I ended up pulling it out back to here, and I changed out Alcott. Well, I actually changed Hemingway to be my color C instead of Alcott. And I made my color D Dickens. Oh, I love Dickens. So here is Dickens. So rich and stunning. So these are my new, I can do this. I can hold all these. This is my new color palette. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So let's see, front. So I kept this section the way that I had originally worked it. And then originally I had this, wherever you see the gray, the Hemingway, that was Alcott. That was that light lilac. And then this was in the gray. This was in the Hemingway. And I thought, well, I could just switch those two. I could make, put Hemingway where it is and then put this in Alcott. But the thing is that later I would still end up with the same problem because all the colors get a chance to play together. And so I would still end up with that same situation later on in the pattern. So I knew I wanted to pull in something that was a much higher contrast. So I brought in that Dickens, and look how fun that is turning out. It's just delightful. It's definitely keeping my attention, lots of attention. I'm learning to be so much more comfortable and at ease with Brioche. I think this is just a beautiful, beautiful pattern. So these will eventually, what's happening is we're creating triangles that are narrowing of this cream, of this Burnett, and then triangles that are increasing of this Hemingway. Now this Pearl Brioche, the stitching of itself is not difficult at all, but I had to pull it out when it was in the other color, when I had it gray. I had to pull it out 4 times because I would get off on the stitch count, and then these little stitches that are supposed to be very alternating to give you this beautiful texture would start to stack up into columns. And I kept pulling it out and kept pulling it out and redoing it. I finally figured out that I just had to be so very careful. I don't know how I was having such an issue with not getting the stitch counts correct, but oh my goodness, I was. And so even when I went back, and that was the thing, I'm like, I don't want to pull this out, but I did. And even when I went back and knit this in this Dickens color, the first 2 rows, I probably recounted them 15 times. I got a different number every single time. Again, not usually an issue I have, but it was just, because you can't get off on stitch counts or you will ruin your texture entirely. So anyway, but it is done, and that section is done, and I think it's beautiful. I just think this is so much fun, but I'm looking at the size of it. I guess it's quite a bit bigger than I thought it was, because really I think we've only got about this much more to go, and then it's going to grow like crazy, isn't it? Because it's brioche, it's just going to whoosh, stretch like nobody's business. It's fun because on this side you've got kind of the cream playing center stage on these stripes, but if you flip it over, it's opposite, right? So the stripes that are cream on this side are pink on that one, vice versa. Isn't that fun? It's just so much fun. It's so engaging. I'm really enjoying the rhythm of it. I feel much more confident in being able to read the stitches, know what I'm looking at. I can tell what I need to do. I have had a couple times where I've had I remember before, when I was knitting brioche, if I dropped one of the little yarn over legs, they're like little twins, you have a yarn over that kind of goes over the top of another stitch. And if I would ever drop one of those off the needles, I didn't know how to see it to put it back on. And so and that's really quite easy to do, especially if you get knitting fast, is to have a stitch. And you know how that is. If you're knitting fast, it's easy for a stitch to just come off your needle and you hurry and grab it and you just keep going. But I was finding that challenging with brioche. Oh no, I dropped one off. I don't know what I'm looking at. I can't tell what's supposed to go where. And now I can. I'm feeling quite confident in it. I should knock on wood after saying that. But I'm really, really enjoying it. And I love that I'm picking up I'm strengthening a skill. don't know that I'm picking it up for the first time, but I'm strengthening it. It's just really fun. It kind of feels like magic. Brioche feels like magic. I know so many people have been doing this forever, but this is the first time I've really dug in. And I haven't, like, honestly, there's been a lot of things that I've looked at and I thought, well, that's cool, but it's not really my aesthetic. And yet this shawl just really spoke to me. I think it's beautiful. Very excited to be working on that. But that is the Brioche Plus Mystery Shawl by Susanne Sommer. And yeah, I'll link it down below. I'm knitting it in Burnett and Bronte, Dickens, and Hemingway. I think that is everything that I have in progress. So I've got my crochet project, which is my granny stripe blanket. And I have my take with me when I need to pay attention to other things project, which are my Christmas socks. And then I have my Brioche Plus mystery shawl that I can just dig in and really, you know, go crazy learning new things and have to really pay attention to that. That's what I've got going on right now. Yeah, so let's talk about shop news. I have lots of fun things to share with you for shop news. So first off, I believe I showed this one last time. This was Book Boyfriend. I hope that these colors are going to show up with this bad lighting. But I just love that we've restocked that one. It's such a fun colorway. So we've got that one in stock. And then we have these, which I am very excited about. And these are Old Glory sock sets. And we have them available in contemporary sock and in classic DK. So this is a 100-gram skein of classic DK, which is a 75-25 merino nylon blend in a DK weight with a 20-gram mini. I will tell you that DK weight socks, at least depending on the size, if you make much of a long leg, you will probably use every bit of both of these. At least that's been my experience. I usually have to knit the main color of the for the foot just a little bit shorter than I normally would, and then use the rest of the mini to kind of make my contrast color a little longer. But you can get a pair of socks out of that. And then that really fun. So these are in the shop right now. And then our color of the month is still Alcott, which I showed earlier. So that is for the rest of June, which is basically by the end of the week, we'll have a new colorway of the month. So this is your last chance to get Alcott on 30% off. We still have a few, not very many, but a few Secret Garden and Narnia colors that are 20% off. Now, I'm going to show you, let's talk about Hogwarts, because I've been horrible at mentioning this on the podcast. The Hogwarts Library Mystery Yarn Club is a mystery sock set every month. You sign up 1 month at a time. So if you signed up in May and you want to keep getting it, you have to sign up in June again. You have to sign up in July again. And every one of these is based on a book that's mentioned in the Harry Potter books. So far this year, we have had 3 sets. We've done April, May, and June. And April was based on, what was it? I have to go back, think about it. It was the history of magic. And May was Transfiguration Today. And June was Magical Me. And I do a different, not every single month, but we do often different bases for our sets. So I think we did Biography sock in April, we did Contemporary sock in May, and we did Sparkle sock in June. So I'm gonna show you the June colorway. If you ordered this and don't wanna see it yet because you haven't received it, please close your eyes. I will tell you when it's safe to open them again, okay? Okay, you ready? Eyes closed, here we go. So here is our set for June. This is called Magical Me. And it's no secret, but this is a sparkle base. Of course, Gilderoy Lockhart would of course insist on sparkles. Yep. Isn't that fun? So that's on our sci-fi sparkle base. Okay, you can open your eyes now. I have 3 of those left in my shop. So you can grab those if you are interested in getting those, if you didn't get one in June. Now, July's inspiration is 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi. I'm so excited for this one. I have such fun colors planned for this one. And for the first time, we are offering it on either our Biography sock base or our classic DK base. So you could get that DK sock set in the same base as this for your Hogwarts club if you would like to do DK weight socks. Or you can get the Biography base, which is like this one, this Alcott, which is the squishy extra fine merino, 8515 extra fine merino 4-ply. So either one of those will be available. They're in the shop now for you to order if you want to do July's club, and you could do DK or you could do Biography. So that is exciting. I'm actually really excited about it. DK socks are so fun because they knit up so fast and they're just really cozy. They're just delightful. I have lots of friends who they prefer DK socks to fingering weight socks. So it just depends on what you love, but they're definitely cozy. Yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to say about Hogwarts. We can for sure do, I mean, as long as everything goes as planned right now, a whole year of this. So I've got so many plans and ideas for Hogwarts coming up. And I love sharing those with you. I'm just never gonna not love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter so much. All right, so my last announcement, and this one has been a long time coming. I've done lots of plans and trying to figure out how I wanted to make it work. But I am doing a Christmas countdown box, and this will not be a classic advent calendar with 25 individual packages to open. I've done those in the past. I love doing them, but I wanted to try something different this year. And so this is going to be a sock set countdown. So this Christmas box is going to be based on, oh, my favorite, Christmas at Orchard House, which is a Little Women theme. So I absolutely love Little Women. It's such a wonderful Christmassy theme to have, and this set will contain, or this box will contain 4 individually wrapped sock sets, and the idea is that you can open one each Sunday of December to kind of be a countdown towards Christmas. And it will also include an originally designed sock pattern by yours truly to go with that. That sock pattern and the yarn itself will all be fingering weight, and it will be a cuff down sock pattern. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can tell you about it right now. There will be a few additional little goodies and extras included as well, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So Christmas at Orchard House, Christmas countdown, and it's sock sets. This, I will not be selling these through my as normally I sell my yarn through my shop. I power my shop through Etsy, and Etsy does not work well with selling things far in advance. And so I'm actually going to be taking reservations through my form that is going to be linked down below. So if you are interested in signing up for one of these boxes, the information will be in that link down below. And once you've filled out the form, I'll send you an invoice, and we'll go from there. So it will be outside of my normal website platform. Because of that, it just doesn't work well. these are the kinds of items that you have to sell well in advance, because you need to be able to prepare multiple things. In addition, people like to buy them way in advance because then they know they've got one reserved. And so with that, Etsy requires you to ship your items within, I think it's an 8-week window, which would mean I wouldn't even be able to put orders out for this until September. And so we're going to do it this way. So if you follow that link below, you can find the information for how to purchase one of the Christmas countdown boxes. And I believe, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll put all the information below. You'll find that. But it's going to be Christmas at Orchard House. Ugh, I'm just really, really excited to share it with you. So yeah, I think that's everything I can share with that. I think that is all of my news and my projects for now. I'm so grateful to have this platform where I'm able to connect with so many of you. I have had wonderful experiences recently in kind of running into people that I've met, whether it's through Instagram into the knitting community or through YouTube. I say the knitting community, I should say the making community, because we are makers of lots of different things, aren't we? Quilters and embroiderers and sewists and crocheters and knitters and weavers and spinners, textile artists. How's that go? I've just had such wonderful interactions with you, and life has been hard. It has been really challenging. I know so many of you are in similar situations or different situations, but life is still feeling heavy. Life feels really heavy right now. And, I started knitting in 2013, when I was going through a major illness. And knitting got me through that. And you know what? Here we are again, going through some really challenging things with my husband, losing his job, and us trying to figure out how we want to proceed, starting up our business again, and just all kinds of things that we're trying to figure out. And sometimes it just feels so heavy. But I always have knitting, and I always have wonderful people, most of whom I've met through the fiber arts, who continue to uplift me and encourage me and cheer me on. And it means the world to me. So I just want you to know that. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being creative and joyful and interested and supportive. I really appreciate that from you. We're going to get through it. If you're feeling that weight, that life feels heavy right now, I just want you to know you're not in it alone. You are not in it alone. And for me, my faith is the main thing. That's what gets me through. I hope you can find those things for you, the things for you that bring you joy, that bring you peace, that bring you calm when you are experiencing those life is heavy times. So just all my love. And I will talk to you very soon. See you later. Bye-bye.